Hey guys, it's Kevin again, this Murray for the Strain Season 1, Episode 5, Runaways. And this episode, oh my god. Now, this show, honestly, guys, I haven't really known how to feel about it. Like, I didn't know what to feel about it, if I liked it, if I didn't like it. Like, I didn't know what to feel about it, because The Leftovers was really good, and for a while I thought The Leftovers were better than The Strain. Not after this episode. The Strain is really intense now. I can't wait for the next episode. Finally, the show is actually getting, really, really dark. Really dark now, and I love that about the show. I really hope the show continues to get as dark as this episode was, because I really wanted it to get really dark, and I really hope it continues to get dark, because this episode was really good because of that. A lot of shit went down this episode, a lot of shit's going to go down, and it's gonna get awesome. Definitely it's going to get really, really interesting. So, let's just get this episode. Basically, we see Gabriel's manager, Ruby Wayne. She assures the concert backers, Sean, that Gabriel's serenade for his Eclipse concert is, Sorry, I'm getting all these text messages here, guys. Is in his top priority. So, urologist Dr. Evanston arrives, and Ruby takes her to Gabriel's room and admits that her client isn't really doing well. But the manager insists that it is vital that they get Gabriel on stage for his concert in 24 hours, swears Evanston to secrecy, basically, and what ends up happening is, in his townhouse above the theater, Gabriel sits in the darkness, listening to the voice of the master. Evanston goes on and introduces herself, and a few seconds later, Ruby hears her scream, which obviously is not good. She goes to investigate. She finds Gabriel extending his stinger into the still-living Evanston's throat, feeding on her, and he says that it's hers, pulls her out of the room. Ruby runs down the stairs, spraying her ankle when she trips. The manager runs into the theater as Evanston's scream echoes behind her, and she calls and cancels the concert, saying that Gabriel is badly hurt. He's badly hurt. And, she calls, Ruby insists that she didn't call the police and says that Gabriel is still in his townhouse. Her caller says that she can handle it, and Ruby warns that she can't be connected to it in any way, because she doesn't want to explain what actually is going on. So, that scene was really intense. Great way to start the episode. Really love that. So then we see Eph and Abraham. I like that Eph and Abraham are definitely working together, because they're the two central main characters of the show. So Eph takes Abraham to his home and wonders who they should call. So as he makes breakfast, Abraham warns, warns basically that the police, that they will lock them up, and explains that the scourge they're facing has existed for millennia, and the person responsible is the master who wants to destroy humanity and spreads the virus through the parasites in his blood. So Abraham figures that the rate of infection differs because different people have different levels of resistance, as with any disease. And the master let 4 survive so the media would focus on them rather than the dead who secretly spread the infection. So Abraham warns Eph that everything has been planned. The events on the plane, the fallout, everything like that was planned. And Eph points out that Abraham is describing a vampire and wonders how the old man knows all about the master. So Abraham explains, and I really loved this next scene. We find out flashbacks of Abraham and how he knows about the master. Basically, he explains that when he was a little boy, his grandmother told him stories about the master, then he saw the master with his own eyes. So we flash back to Poland in 1944. Of course, that's when concentration camps are going on. And Jews are taking a train to a concentration camp. And Abraham is trying to reassure his grandmother. But she warns that they will not be happy to arrive at their destination. She tells Abraham to remember the story she told him. And warns that they will soon meet the master that she spoke of. When the trains arrive at the camp, the Nazi soldiers unload them and their commander, Eichhorst, and that is huge. I thought that was a great twist, that Eichhorst was a commander of the Jews. I mean, that makes so much sense, because if you think about it, what's really going on here is a lot like the concentration camp in Nazism, very much so. He tells them that they will work for the betterment of, because think about it, Adolf Hitler. This is really weird. Adolf Hitler, of course, he preferred people with blonde hair, blue eyes. That's what he wanted. Blonde hair, blue eyes. And, that's just what he wanted. Now, Ike, of course, he wants the people that have the disease. He wants the infected people. Anyone that's not infected, he wants killed. So that's very much like the concentration camps, definitely. It's a very weird comparison, but I think it actually works really well, and I really like the comparison, definitely. I think that's really cool. Basically, Ike tells them that they will work for the betterment of Germany. The women are separated from the men, and anyone who objects is beaten. This reminds me so much of Schindler's List, including Abraham. His brother Jacob warns that he'll be killed if he continues to interfere, and Abraham and Jacob are taken to one side, and the soldiers confirm that they are carpenters. So then we go back to the present, and we see Joan, who is in bed sick, when her maid Neeva and her two children, Audrey and Keen, come in. And they serve her breakfast in bed, and Joan irritably tells them to stop fussing over her and is unable to drink her tea. And Neeva hastily takes away from the tray, and Joan hugs her children. And as she does, she hears a ringing in her head, and contemplates Audrey's throat, and her eyes are turning red, and Joan hastily has Neeva take the children out. So, because she knows what's going on. It's much like Ansel. She doesn't want her, her children to be hurt or anything. So she's just trying to make it seem so they don't know what's going on. So Abraham tells Eph that he plans to visit everyone on the list and dispose of their bodies. He explains they're easier to kill during the early stages of infection and hope they will find more believers at the next houses. So Eph wants film of one of the victims alive so he can convince his superiors. And Abraham says that the next survivor on the list is Ansel Barber, which is huge because, Ansel, of course, is infected. He gives Eph a modified nail gun, explains that it's loaded with silver bullets that will weaken the vampires. As Eph considers the gun, Abraham warns that they're trying to save the human race and he's drafting Eph into his cause. And if Eph is infected, Abraham assures him that he will kill him as readily as any other victim. Now that is huge because Eph is our main character here. If Eph gets infected on this show, he's gonna die. Basically, that's what Abraham's saying, is if he gets infected, he's gonna die. It's very much like The Walking Dead. If someone turns into a, walker, they pretty much die. But the difference is that Abraham isn't gonna think twice about it. He's just gonna go ahead and do it. So they drive to the barber house, and Eph explains that he got his truck Esther in the Congo while dealing with an outbreak, trading his Rolex for it. And he fell in love with the truck and shipped it home and restored it, and I thought that was a cute scene. And Eph calls Nora and gets her answering machine and leaves a message asking her to call and let him know that she's okay. Because, of course, she left, but he still cares about her, obviously. So once he hangs up, Abraham asks if they're close, and Eph claims that they're friends. And the old man explains that if their loved ones turn, they come home and destroy those they love the most. So then we get another flashback to Poland, 1944. Abraham is sleeping in the barracks when the master enters the building, feeds on one of the prisoners before breaking its neck. And the next day, Abraham tells Jacob, who thinks that the dead man died of illness, and Abraham insists that something killed him and describes a creature he saw. So Jacob dismisses it as a nightmare, but Abraham insists that if it was real, and the creature was real, their grandmother told him about it in her stories. He remembers that the creature can be destroyed with silver, and points out that workers collecting silver, and suggests that they get some of it and melt it down. So Jacob tells him to stop looking for monsters, because they are already surrounded by them. So at the Department of Health, Vasily returns, and Loretta warns him that his boss, Mike, is mad at him because Foster complained that Vasily was rude, and Vasily is more interested in the increasing numbers of rat calls, and Loretta admits that she saw a number of them on the subway platform that morning. So the exterminator says that rats don't migrate normally unless something is threatening them, and figures that a bigger predator is stalking them, and as he leaves, Vasily tells Loretta to give his calls to Mitch. So that was definitely very interesting. So Nora walks down the streets dealing with what she just saw the previous night, because of course, she's still coping with seeing them kill a little girl. But of course, she's still upset, but the thing is, it's not a little girl that they killed. It was a girl that was infected, and that's who they killed. But I understand why she's upset. Definitely I understand why she's upset. She's upset because some people react in different ways. Abraham said that some people are more sensitive than others, and Nora is one of those people that is very sensitive to those things. So on the radio, reports are playing about the upcoming eclipse, and she gets a call and receives word about her mother and goes to the care facility where Mariella is being kept. So the attending doctor explains that Mariella wandered out and went to get a coffee shop to order a martini, and we meet her mother, Mariella. And the doctor warns that it's Mariella's third incident and that they would have to hire someone full-time to take care of Mariella. Nora doesn't want to move her mother from where she settled and says that she'll cover the expenses. She then talks to Mariella and says that she can't be wandering off like this. And Mariella doesn't want to stay and introduces Nora to a friend, saying that her daughter came to come help her pack. And when Mariella says that she wants to go home, Nora tells her that she is home. I thought that was definitely a very interesting scene. So Eph and Abraham then enter the barber house and find Anne-Marie dead. She is dead. I thought that was huge that they killed her like that. She hung herself, basically. I think she probably, and I think I know why she did that. I think she did that because, and by the way, this episode killed off a bunch of major characters, surprisingly. Basically, I think that she hung herself because she couldn't accept the fact that her husband was like this. She didn't know what else to do, and that's why she did it. So Abraham uses a silver mirror, explaining that the reflection of the infected vibrates. He confirms that she uninfected, but refuses to help Eph get her down, and Eph finds a note in her hand and reads it. Anne-Marie tells Ansel that she can't bear to face the world without him, and begs his forgiveness. So they go to the kitchen and spot the shed in the backyard, and they hear chains rustling from inside the shed. They go outside to investigate. Eph prepares to take camera footage, gets the nail gun out, and Abraham draws a short sword from his cane. They go inside, and Ansel glares at them from the corner, runs at them but is drawn short by the chain, realizes that Ansel chained himself up to spare his family, and Eph shoots the vampire, stunning it, and then Abraham decapitates it. So now Ansel's dead, so that plot's basically done. So avoiding contact with the blood and the worms within it, Eph then goes outside with Abraham, finds the infected neighbor, Trip Taylor, and decapitates him as well, because he was also infected. So the old man grabs a can of gasoline, goes outside, because, you know, he said before that what they have to do is, they don't just shoot it, they need to, you know, set on fire and blow it up as well. So Eph is reviewing the footage he took, and once the shed is doused in gasoline, Abraham sends it alight and asks Eph if he now believes in the evil they're facing. So then we see another flashback. Now the master returns to the barracks, takes another prisoner near Abraham's bunk, watches the vampire's feed, and then permanently kills its victim by breaking its neck. I mean, that was really hard to watch. Just really sad. I mean, definitely just really, really sad. Definitely very interesting there, and just really sad, honestly. Just really sad to watch. So then Eph leaves another message for Nora, asking her to call him back because he really is concerned about her. And Abraham says they have to leave, wishes Eph good luck with this video. And Eph asks him to come with him and help him with a quarantine declared. But Abraham says that they both have to do what they think is best. He admits that his cause seems hopeless, but he knows that inaction is the greatest evil and walks off. So he basically leaves. And Eldrick is lying in bed after his liver transplant, asks Fitzwilliams to stay with him. So Dr. Morse comes in and assures that, and basically assures him that, where was I? Basically, he warns that it's too early to tell if there will be rejection issues, warns that Eldrick's body can't survive another transplant, and Eldrick says he won't require him to operate again, that they must rely on a higher power. So Jack Noon enters Gabriel's townhouse, spots the trail of blood, finds Evanson lying in a tub drained of blood, and prepares to clean up the crime scene. Gabriel comes up behind him, Jack draws his gun, the cleaner explains that Ruby called him to clean up the area, Jack sprays with bleach and takes Evanson's calls, and as he sees the worms crawling in the bullet wounds, Gabriel extends a stinger into Jack's neck and kills him. Oh my god, that scene was so graphic. Really, really graphic, just really, really big. So Joan then gets out of bed, and she tells Neeva that she's fine, but the maid says that she needs a doctor. So Joan suddenly clutches at her eye. Finally, we get to see the scene where there's something in a woman's eye. So she says that there's something in it. And Neeva stares at her eye and watches as they turn red and then nictate, and she backs away in horror. She says there's nothing wrong, and Neeva leaves the room, starts packing the children's clothes, basically telling the children that they're going away because their mother is not feeling well. So Joan calls them from upstairs. Neeva says that she was taking the children to a movie, and Joan sniffs at her son and listens to his heartbeat, then does the same to her daughter, manages to control herself and tells Neeva that it's fine, and then walks off. Neeva gets the children into an SUV and then drives off. So the question is she actually going to come back? We don't know. So Vasily enters the sewers, finds the walls covered with ammonia faces, covering his mouth, and the exterminator continues on and spots several vampires. They advance on him. He runs for the exit. Vasily climbs up the ladder, gets out just in time, and they retreat from the sunshine shining down. So at the care facility, as the sun sets, Mariella talks about how hard she has to work with her husband home and wonders when they're going home. Now, Nora says again that she is home, and Mariella says that she's surrounded by strangers and wonders why she has to stay there. She realizes that something is bothering her daughter, offers to help, and basically Nora says that she's working on a case, but she can't do what needs to be done, and Mariella says that she'll figure out, and she puts her through school because she knew that she could conquer anything. And the creature kills an orderly as well, and Nora leads her daughter out the back, says that they're going home. So Eph shows Barnes and Jim the video he took. He insists they need a quarantine, and tries to explain that the dead passengers are only dormant while they undergo a metamorphosis. So Eph explains that he performed an autopsy on Redfern, saw the infected body of Emma's father, Gary Barnes, and warns that everyone above him would be against it. So Eph points out that he would be a hero if he stopped it on the level of Pastor and Salk, and he shows Barnes that video, and the administrator says that he'll cancel his next appointment. So, once they're alone, Jim confirms that the infection he was partially responsible for is spreading, and Eph overhears Barnes in the hallway calling with orders to deny everything. Jim warns his friend they have him on video dragging Redfern's body down the hospital basement. Eph leaves before it's too late, but discovers that his card is shut down. Jim provides his own card and takes the stairs to avoid security, and Eph tells Jim to do the right thing, convince Barnes to order the quarantine. They get to the ground floor. Eph tries to email himself the video, but the internet is still screwed up. It's down. There's something wrong with the internet. So he removes the SIM card so they can trace him, leave the building, and outside, Jim insists that he has never betrayed him no matter what else he did, and Eph tells him to do his job before walking into the night. So yeah, shit's about to go down. It's going to get a lot more intense now, and I'm really looking forward to seeing, what's going to happen next. I do have a couple questions, though. What exactly is going to happen now? I really don't know what's going to happen. Abraham, I don't really know where he went. We're going to have to see what happens there, definitely. So, what's going to, definitely, I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen with Nora as well. As far as Nora goes, I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen with Nora. I don't know. I'm thinking Nora definitely was scared of what's going to happen. We'll have to see what happens there. Vasily's definitely in trouble. Something's going to happen with Vasily. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with him, but something's going to happen with Vasily. He's definitely in trouble. Is Neeva going to come back? She knows that something's wrong with Joan, so I don't know if she's going to come back. We'll just have to see what happens there. I really don't know if she's going to come back. If she does, I don't know if she will. As far as Jack goes, as far as Gabriel goes, I don't know what's going to happen with Gabriel. We'll have to see what happens there. But the best part of this episode, in my opinion, were the flashbacks. I love seeing how much the Master hurt Abraham, how personally he hurt him. How much the Master affected Abraham. I thought that was so well done, in my opinion. Love the way they did those scenes. Awesome, awesome episode. Love this episode. By far the best episode of the season. Really looking forward to the next episode. This show is finally really, really intense, and I can't wait for the next episode. Alright, so that's my review of The Strain. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. What do you guys think of it? That's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in my next video, which will be my review for tonight's episode of Switched at Birth. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.